International Women's Day, 2004. 19 female Israeli hostages are still being held by Hamas in Gaza. Section 4. Learn what the hostages might be experiencing. Here are some of the stories from the released hostages, and as you listen, imagine how you might feel if it was someone you loved, or someone from your own family held captive by them. The hostages so far released from this hell are 112 in number, of which 78 were Israeli women and young girls. Many are suffering PTSD. Emily Hand. Below left, 9 years old, will only speak in a whisper. They were forced not to speak or cry. She now wakes up screaming at night, and will not let her father out of her sight. Some were teased with food, but then starved. Noam Avidori, below right, 12 years old, also wakes up screaming at night. The child hostages were drugged with ketamine, and suffering withdrawal after their release. All of the released female hostages in care had either directly experienced or witnessed sexual abuse. 2 female hostages had been kept in a cage 1 meter by 1.5 meters. 1 female hostage kept in absolute darkness became psychotic and was suffering from hallucinations. Some, due to the abuse suffered while in captivity, are under mental health section because they are suicidal. At the time of the attack and abduction, some of the Nova Festival goers were on psychoactive hallucinogenic drugs. In other words, they were tripping, which has implications for their mental health due to amplification of the horrors experienced. Released hostage Mia Sheem, 21 years old, was seriously wounded fleeing the Nova massacre. She was shot in her right arm. It almost detached. Pouring with blood, her friends were dead all around her, and a Hamas creature was about to rape her, but when he saw her arm, he relented and took her to Gaza. She was left for 3 days in a dark room, stretched out on the floor, with plastic tied to her arm. Then she was operated on by a veterinary with no anesthetic. Afterwards she was imprisoned in a Palestinian home, with a family, where she feared rape by the man who watched her every moment. Then Mia was forced to appear in a propaganda video expressing how kind Hamas were, and how good the food was, even though she was starved, and often taunted with food by the family's children, only to have it snatched away. Mia is a strong, courageous and beautiful girl, now in physio to help rehabilitate the use of her damaged arm. Sadly, Mia is now suffering with epilepsy, due to the trauma. Even though she is free and back with her family, the abject cruelty continues. As if this poor girl had not been through enough, vile cruel memes with psychological taunts have been posted about her looks by hateful pro-Palestinian supporters and vile anti-Semites. Abductees still in Hamas captivity are being targeted by hateful false pro-Palestinian and anti-Semitic social media posts, for example, one slating hostage Naama Levy as a baby killer. That's one of thousands of lies. The truth is, Naama had only just finished her basic mandatory IDF training and was posted to Nahal Oz military base, her very first position as an observational soldier, just 2 days before the Hamas assault. Another hostage recounted her story. How she had been shot in the legs, and her legs had big holes in them. How her vicious captors didn't care and would hit her in the face, and spit on her. How she had no shower for the 54 days. How they were starved. Finally, they pushed the forceps into her legs to remove the bullets with no anesthetic. As they poked and prodded to find and pull out the bullets, a gun was held to her head, so that if she made a sound they would kill her. Others spoke of being made to wait hours just to use the bathroom. Ashley Bakshi, while visiting London to bring the plight of her hostage cousin, Agam Berger, to the UK Parliament. She revealed in the meeting that the family are receiving hateful messages from pro-Palestinian supporters and anti-Semites. These vile individuals are taunting about the sexual abuse of the girls in captivity. For example, Hamas are selling time with the girls to Palestinian civilians. They are also receiving gleeful taunts in personal messages claiming Agam is pregnant. So much for the poor innocent Palestinians we keep hearing about. One female hostage previously released recounted a time in captivity when she was forced at gunpoint to strip, and then her capture applied pressure to her wounds to induce pain. How twisted these Hamas monsters are, and they do these things with glee and pride, believing it pleases their God. Another hostage recounted witnessing the rape of another female hostage at gunpoint. Many other such stories exist. Yet the world runs after falsehood supporting these terrorists. They believe every lie posted on social media against Israel. One such supporter of the fake Palestinian cause against Israel is the Roman Catholic Church. Pope Francis recently used the word terrorism, not against Hamas, but against Israel. How can such a twisted perspective exist? He knows very well that Israel is not, nor ever has been, a terror state. How can such a person of power and immense influence, one who references God, yet have such a broken moral compass? The Pope's projection with this comment is immensely damaging. It is repulsive. A church leader unable to discern between good and evil has no place in leadership. And unfortunately there are many like Pope Francis at the moment: politicians, journalists, celebrities, and Joe Blogs in the street. People with a bucket full of opinion and no discernment or integrity. Or ignorant people completely missing the dark facts of how this terror is being perpetuated. People scream about the Palestinian children, but are ignorant and blind to the fact that the Palestinians are breeding and indoctrinating their children to become hateful, murdering psychopaths. I had one guy in the street justify the atrocity by exclaiming that one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. How can people be so morally bankrupt? Or be so outspoken while living in a fog of ignorance? To save the Palestinian children, it is essential to completely eliminate Hamas, and then to de-radicalize the entire population. Saving the Palestinian children without doing this is like pouring clean water into a dirty vessel with a hole in it. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. And so anti-Semites join hands with terrorists and dance in a circle around the Jew with malevolent intent. If we care about civilization, it has to end. There is no tangible future by repeating the errors of the last 70 years. As Noah Tishby said in her speech to the FIDF following the events, people are sleepwalking down a path tread by a millennia of Jew hatred, and their prejudice is showing. Wake up now. Every piece of verbal support given to these false narratives in the public domain emboldens and encourages these terrorists and their Palestinian supporters. Against this backdrop of rhetoric, these women and girls held captive desperately need our unceasing and heartfelt prayers. They need prayer more than anyone I can imagine. Please get to know them, learn their names, say their names, and see their battered, broken faces when you pray. Plead with the Lord for His mercy, protection, deliverance, and ultimately healing on their behalf. Again I say, imagine if these were your daughters, sisters, or friends. They would never leave your mind. You would be distraught for them, praying every moment with desperate tears. It is 30 weeks since the 7th October massacre. I have been to 3 different churches, 29 times total since then. That's about 43 hours of service time. I have heard on average 174 hymns, many of them with words that make no scriptural sense at all. Yet I have not heard one single prayer for the hostages, and I have not heard one single hostage name spoken in church. It was not like this for Terry Wade or John McCarthy. Why is that? Any ideas? I did hear a couple of prayers for the so-called poor Palestinians. Prayers offered for the resentful and hateful people who set this atrocity in motion, but no prayers for the victims of the atrocity. I hear prayers for a ceasefire, but no mention of hostage release. Thus I see zero understanding for who and what Hamas and the Islamic Brotherhood really are. Christians, you are missing the mark big time. Singing hymns is not worshiping God. It is not about a sing-song that makes you feel good. It is about doing to others as you would have them do to you. It is about discernment between good and evil, not about taking the popular side. Em Yisrael Kai.